Hey everyone, welcome back. And today I'm going to be doing what if Kosovo gains full independence from Serbia and decides to form an empire. So, with a Kosovo, like, they claim they're independent, but Serbia fully claims Kosovo's territory. So, with a lot of countries now recognizing Kosovo, Serbia decides to give in and it gives Kosovo full independence, making Kosovo now a fully recognized country. And then we know that that won't happen, but let's just say it does happen. So, with Kosovo now gaining full independence, they decide to go imperial. They realize that they can't attack Albania because they're stronger and they're an ally. They can't go after Serbia because, again, they're stronger. And they just gained full independence, so that's just going to make them get annexed again. They could go after North Macedonia, but I think North Macedonia is powerful than Kosovo. So, who else? They decide to go after Montenegro, but not with force. They send them an ultimatum asking for economic aid under Kosovo rule, and then they decided to accept the ultimatum. Soon, Montenegro is fully annexed. Now, Kosovo is gaining more economic by just having the sea coast. And then with this, they decide that it's time to go after North Macedonia. So with them already, I mean, they're powerful, but eventually, with any invasion going on, they are able to capture a lot of territory. Eventually, it's off to a stalemate, but then eventually, after years of fighting, they manage to get their capital, and then soon, North Macedonia surrenders. So let's look at the peace treaty. So here we see the full annexation of North Macedonia, and then all of a sudden, Albania is collapsing inside. Like, there's too many protests that they start to have a civil war. And then, after they're done with their civil war, they go over to Kosovo and ask for their annexation for economic aid. So, Kosovo decides to accept this, and then Albania is annexed. And then, after that, we see that the Kosovos decided to invade Greece. Soon, they captured this whole entire panhandle, and then eventually, they start to their invasion down south. And then soon, with the Greeks now fully prepared, but they're already threatening Athens, Greece declares war, but as soon they did that, Athens already falls. And then with that, Greece fully surrenders. So let's look at the peace treaty. So we see here that the northern part of Greece has been fully annexed, while this big island here has been turned into a puppet state. So they decided to go over to Bulgaria, and then eventually they declare war, and then they're already threatening their capital. And then they manage to capture it, and then soon Bulgaria surrenders. Serbia sees this as a threat, so Serbia declares war on Kosovo. And then, as they're already extremely close to their capital, they go all in, and then soon, with the Serbians being unprepared for this unexpected attack, I mean, they were unexpecting the strong Kosovos, but then eventually Belgrade falls, and then soon they surrender. And then the Serbians in Bosnia and Herzegovina sees this, they declare war, and then soon they capture all their coast, going all in, soon capturing Sarajevo, and then they fall. And then another country makes a big mistake. They declare war after the fall of the country. Soon, yeah, they're already gaining, and then Slovenia decides to join. Yeah, they fall, and so does Croatia. So that was fast. Let's look at the peace treaty. So we see the full annexation of Bulgaria, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, and Slovenia. So with this, they decide that they should go after more weaker countries, aka in Central Europe. And those are Hungary, Austria, Czechia, and Slovakia. And then they decide that they take over the Austrian panhandle first. So after they do that, they manage to go in Austria, and then soon they go and spearhead into Budapest in Hungary. Soon, with the capture of Budapest, Hungary surrenders, and then since they're there, Vienna falls, and then Prague falls, and then Slovakia falls. So let's look at the peace treaty. So here's the peace treaty. We see that the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary has been fully annexed. Soon they go over to Romania, and then they declare war and might as well bring up Moldova. So with them already into the war, they managed to capture their coast, making them very weak. And then soon they're already threatening Bucharest, and then eventually it's captured. But with the Romanians being a little bit stronger, they are able to push them back a little bit, soon liberating Bucharest. And they are able to gain a little bit of their sea coast. And with the help of Moldova, they are able to invade in the north. So with this invasion in the north, we see that some people are believing that they're getting liberated in Slovakia and Hungary. But eventually, Bucharest falls again, and their ocean falls, and they're already going into Moldova. And then eventually, Moldova's capital is captured, and then they surrender. And then this area falls back to the Kosovos, and then Romania surrenders. Ukraine sees this as a threat, and then they declare war. So with the Ukraine being more stronger than Romania and Kosovo, they are able to liberate all of Moldova and a little bit of Romania. And then eventually, it's off to a stalemate. So with the Kosovos now gaining a lot of manpower and enlisting a lot of people, they are able to push back the Ukrainians out again out of Romania and a little bit out of Moldova. But then eventually, the Ukrainians are pushed back, and then soon it's just back and forth, back and forth. But then eventually, they are able to do any breakthrough, capturing major cities like Odessa, and then going into this part of Ukraine. Soon, going into Crimea, and then capturing it all. So Ukraine decides to sue for peace. Kosovo rejects. Any invasion more happens. Soon, Kiev is captured, and then Ukraine surrenders. Since we're there, might as well declare war on Belarus. Oh, never mind. Belarus is already invaded. They already fall. So let's look at the peace treaty. So here we see the full annexation of Romania, Moldova, Ukraine, and Belarus. So what they decide to do next is that, again, they would go north, looking into Poland and the Baltics. So with this, we already see that the Suwalki Gap has been closed, and then eventually Lithuania's capital falls, and a spearhead to Riga falls, and Tallinn falls. And then with this, we see a massive surrender of the Baltics. And then soon, they started their invasion into Poland, and then another invasion into Poland. And with this, Poland is fighting in a two-front war, and then eventually Warsaw falls, Poland surrenders. So with this, let's look at the peace treaty. So here we see the full annexation of Poland and the Baltics. The Western Europe sees this as a threat, and then the UK decides to do a naval blockade of them. And then Germany sees this, they declare war, and Italy also sees this, they also declare war. So we see that the Kosovos are now entering through Italy, already capturing Venice and Milan, and then soon going down into San Marino, and then capturing Rome. And then eventually, Italy surrenders. And then, over here in the north, we see that they're invading Germany. Soon, they go all out in capturing Berlin, and then capturing their coast. And then with this, they surrender. And then France decides to join. They're having a little bit of struggle invading them through this part and over here. So what else they do? Benelux. They invade the Benelux as soon capturing already going in and then encircling troops, forcing them to leave to the UK, soon capturing Paris, and then eventually, yeah, that falls, and then France surrenders. So basically, all of the major powers are gone except for Britain, but Britain isn't in the war. So the three powerful countries, excluding Britain, is now gone. So let's look at the peace treaty. Here's the peace treaty. We see that the East Germany has been fully annexed, and West Germany, the Benelux, and France, alongside with Italy, has been turned into a puppet state as a buffer zone between them and the Iberian Peninsula and the UK and Denmark. So Switzerland is in the way, so they send them an ultimatum saying that they should become a new puppet state. And then Switzerland gives in, also does Liechtenstein and Monaco too. So with this, we see that this is now the Kosovo Empire. Hopefully y'all like the video, and I'll see you on the next one.